Hey. What is good, my good people? You know where you is. You know what this is. You know who I is. Welcome once again into the I Am the Possible podcast experience, where we aspire to inspire the innovation of your identity. And it is I, yes, once again, your host, Tre'vell C. W. Lynch, Mr. What, your self-worth specialist. And I am once again so honored, so privileged, so fortunate, so blessed to be rocking with you once again this week. Thank you guys so much for showing up, not only for this podcast, but more importantly, showing up for you. Thank you for showing up for yourself as you improve upon you, as you grow and develop in your awareness and your appreciation and your acceptance of you. The more you grow and elevate and evolve as everything that God has created you to be, the more you do that, the better a place you make the world, because you're in it. You are a part of humanity, our society. So when you improve, hey, we all improve. So thank you so much. Guys, let's jump right into this. You know how we get down. You know what we do around here. If you are on the tube, and you should be rocking with me on the tube, you are seeing my screen. If you're not on the tube, head over to YouTube. Type in I Am the Possible, one word, no space, and join the notification nation. That's right. Subscribe and hit that bell. And be sure to get every single notification, because I don't just drop podcast episodes, man. I drop content. Oh, yes. I drop creative and how should I put it? Organic, right? In the moment, spare the moment. Never know when it's coming, but it is weekly and it is often fresh new content. So not only will you get the podcast each and every week, I'm dropping content, man. I'm dropping dope jewels, gems, nuggets all week long. So tune in and be sure to get all that information, okay? All right, guys, our mission here to share ideas, information, and individuals that will inspire you to think of yourself in a way that makes the life you want possible. That is our mission. That's our aim. Focus, intention. So whether it's an idea, whether it's information, or whether it's a guest, an actual individual, right? A guest that I bring on the show, it is all about inspiring you. It's all about helping you to improve the way that you think of yourselves. Guys, we have a confession around here, right? Our words create worlds. And our confession here is, and this is really your confession, right? This is me laying out a template. So it's, whether you're at a concert or maybe you're in church and someone says, repeat after me, right? Call and response. So come on, make this your confession, guys. I'm about to learn something that will transform the way I think about myself and help make the life I want possible. That's right. There is a distinct connection between the way you think about yourself and the way you live your life. Zig Ziglar once said that we're not able to perform consistently in a manner that is incongruent, that is not in alignment with the way we see ourselves. You may be able to trick a few people here and there. You may be able to do something out of the ordinary once or twice, but consistently, you're not able to perform or behave or live in a way that is inconsistent with the way that you see yourself. So I want you to live your best life, and living your best life begins with you thinking your best thoughts about you. Hope and pray that makes sense. Guys, we got a disclaimer around here, right? Disclaimer alert. We have a disclaimer, guys. The ideas expressed on this podcast, they serve only as a component of a much, much more complex puzzle called the human behavior. That's right. The human behavior is so fascinating that it will take me all of my life to just maximize my capacity for understanding it. And then, which is one of my goals, to maximize my aptitude, my ability, my skill set. I want to maximize my ability to communicate transformative ideas and information. Guys, human behavior is so complex that I can only aspire to offer a nugget, a piece of a puzzle, a component, right, per episode, because there is so much. That rabbit hole goes so deep. So each and every episode, each and every experience, we just want to dive into one aspect, one thing, one idea can literally change your life. The reason I'm doing this today, guys, I don't know if you know this or not, but the reason I'm doing this today, and I won't go too far down this rabbit hole, but I'll share it. The reason that I'm doing this podcast, the reason that I'm doing, all of the communication that I do, whether it's speaking, teaching, preaching, facilitating small groups, counseling, mentoring, one-on-one, coaching, creating content on social media, all of it is because my identity was innovated over 20 years ago, right? The idea that I had of me was wiped away and replaced by a new one. See, innovation, right? And I'll probably say this on every episode, but innovation allows a person, enables a person, empowers a person to see old things with a new set of eyes, right? Old things with new eyes. It's all about how you look at it. And over 20 years ago, the first innovative idea that I received, the first innovation to my identity, was the fact that I was accepted. Again, I won't go down too far, but I was locked in the county jail. I was facing 15 years, grand theft. And I was at the crossroad, right? The fork in the road, as we call it. And I had a decision to make. And what helped me make the right decision was when I attended a church service. I didn't know what I was walking into, right? It was just one of those things. I don't know if you've ever been locked up before, but I was locked up. I was in my little 6x9, whatever they call it. And I wanted to get out of my cell block. I was like, yo, man, anything to get me up out this cell block. And the warden, or whoever he was, came down the hall and he said, yo, we got a Sunday service. Church is here. Anybody that wants to go, you can go. If you don't want to go, stay your butt in your cell. I said, sign me up. I just wanted to get a change of environment, just a change of pace, just to get out of that cell block. So we went to service, heard about a man named Jesus who loved me and accepted me just as I am. I didn't have to jump through hoops. I didn't have to do backflips. I didn't have to give him a cash advance. I didn't have to lie, twist, cheat, finagle, anything. I didn't have to be anything more than what I already was, right? You guys get my point. He accepted me right then and there, right locked in that jail, having committed this crime, having done what I'd done, having been the person that I had been for 23 years. Right then and there, he said, I'll take you. I accept you. Dude, listen, I not only gave my life to God, but that was the beginning of a whole new identity. And since then, I've just come into relationships where men have spoken into my life. I've discovered some amazing things that I'm going to continue to share with you through this podcast and through other channels of communication. But it all started. That's why I'm so passionate about what I do. That's why I believe in what I'm saying, because I've lived it. I've breathed it. I've touched it. I've experienced it. Yeah. I know what it means to have my identity innovated. I'm living proof of the life that is possible when you have an identity innovation. Yeah, you can call it leveling up. You can call it whatever, right? Life change, right? Transformation, whatever name you want to come up with it. I just call it innovation. I'm proof. I won't go. Okay. Don't go too far down. Okay. Bring it back. Because, the wheels get to turning, and boy, I got stories to tell you. I'll save them for another episode. Okay. I'll save them for another episode. All right. Let's get back to our slizzites. All right, guys. Today's topic. Got to have the topic of the day. And here it is. You are in control even if you don't feel like it. That's right. You are in control even if you don't feel like it. Let me ask you a question. Are you at a point in your life where you feel out of control? You feel like, man, life sucks. I'm not doing what I want to do. Things aren't happening the way I want them to happen. I'm just in a bad space. I'm out of control. I'm wild. I'm just losing it, right? Listen, we've all been there. We trust me, we've all been there, and I get it. I empathize with you. And today I'm going to share some information that's going to help you to understand that you are always in control, even if you don't feel like it. Emphasis on feel like it. Even if you don't feel like it, you are in control. Guys, if you've not been rocking with me for a while and you missed some of the previous episodes, this season we're going super simple. So I don't have 1,000 slides for you this season. This season I'm going to be relying on my old iPhone here. I forgot what number we're on, what iPhone 13, 14, I don't know. But got my notes on my phone, and just want to share some things with you. The first thing that I want to share with you when it comes to the concept and the idea, right, of feeling like your life is out of control, right? Like you're out of control, like you don't have control of the way you feel. Because here's the thing. Again, this is only a component. That's why I do the disclaimer at the beginning, because my mind goes all down the various different things that, contribute to the life condition and the human behavior and why we do what we do. But I can only share so much of it, right? So, when we talk about being out of control or not feeling like we're in control of our lives, and this is what we're going to focus on today, a lot of that is based upon the way we feel. When we express, I don't feel like I have control of my life. You see how we use the word feel? It's an emotion. So we have to understand that what we're talking about today, and what many of us describe as being out of control or not feeling like we're in control, is we don't feel, our emotions are not under our control. We feel like people piss us off and get us mad without our ability to taper it down, or we just wired in such a way that we fly off the handle real quick, or we get frustrated, or we're sad all the time, or we feel depressed, right? It's all about emotions. And so I just wanted to kind of frame that the context that we're talking about today, right? Feeling like we're in control is the emotion. And I wanted to share with you a story, right? A couple of months ago, actually, I was coming from the gym. And so, I don't know what time it was. It makes 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. Excuse me. And I'm coming out the gym, and I've got to go to work. I've got to get back home to get my 2 boys, to take them to school. So I got some responsibilities. I got a reason to get my butt back home, right? Excuse me, taking a sip of water if you're not on the tube, not seeing me take a sip of that water. All right. So anyway, I'm at the gym, right? And listen, I've got some motivation to get home. I got my boys waiting on me. Got to drop them off at school. I got to get to work. Got to clock in by a certain time. And so I'm headed to my car, and I go to get in, and I push the little button to start, and the car doesn't start. Now, you may be saying, "Oh, come on, man, not a big deal." Well, come on now, real talk. How many times have we allowed little small things to totally just get us out of control? We just lose it, right? Things start to snowball. Many times we say something to the effect of, "Oh, here we go." And that's an open door to our emotions. Or we say something like, it's going to be one of those types of days, right? "Oh, here we go. It's that type of day." Or, just my luck. Or, "Oh, I cannot believe this." Or, "Oh, not today." You see that response and that word, right? Remember, words create worlds. The power of life and death is in our tongue. And so many times, man, we fly off and we say something, and that fuels the fire of our emotions. And before you know it, something as small as the car not starting, we are on level 10. We go from 1 to 10, right, in 60 seconds, right? So I go to push the button and it won't start. And my first few thoughts was like, "Oh, come on. Now I got to get my wife involved. She's already at work. I got to call AAA." Just like anybody else, I'm going through my emotional checklist, all this crap going through my head. And I kept trying to start the car. And as I'm doing it, now this is not a humble brag. This is not about me. This is just, hey man, God is good. Or maybe it was just meant for me to share this podcast episode. But initially, everything that I just described, frustration, anxiety, anger, here we go, all of that was rumbling. But for whatever reason, right, and it does not always happen this way, but for whatever reason, I started thinking, how can I make this, how can I flip this? Because this is about to go south. How can I process this? How can I think about this and not get super upset and not just fly off the handle? For whatever reason, just the grace of God that day, Holy Spirit, whatever it was, man, it's just, okay, I'm just not going to flip. And I began to think, I have a choice. This is my conscious, I'm consciously thinking through this, right? Maybe it's all the self-help books I've read, or, all the seeds that have been sown into my subconscious starting to, manifest in the moment. I don't know. But I was like, man, I got two choices. I can sit here and get really pissed and just get upset. Or my wife is right around the corner at her job, and I can call and, she can, maybe, dip out and she can get the boys, and I can wait for AAA and they'll come and they'll charge the battery or do whatever needs to be done. And, thank God we got some savings. And so I just really began to say, it ain't that bad. It's okay. We can fix this. We can work this out. And so the idea that I want to share with you is that that's not always the case, right? But what is the case is we always have two options. And I look at some of my notes here. One option was to get upset and get pissed off and just fly off the handle. And if I would have done that, then I would have had two issues instead of one. I already got the issue of the car not starting, but then I could just pile on with my bad attitude. And I don't know, maybe I could make the matters worse. I could slam the door and break the window, or, kick the tire and break my toe. Like, how many times have we piled on and made the matters worse and not just left it as what it was and dealt with it from a mature, calm state, right? So we always got two options when we're confronted with a problem and with an issue in our lives. And so if you're at a point in your life where you feel out of control, you have to understand that whatever is causing, whatever is triggering the feelings of being out of control, you have the option available to you to look at the situation and say, okay, you are what you are, right? Tony Robbins always talks about looking at a situation for what it is, right? And nothing more, because the more is what we pile on. And so I think that the core of what I want to communicate with you today is that you have a choice. You have an option. You are always in control, even though you don't feel like it. The reason you don't feel like it is because normally by default, you allow the situation to cause you to fly off the handle. And now listening to this podcast, you at least are aware and conscious to the fact that nope, it's not your responsibility what happens to you. It's your responsibility on how you respond. That's all it is, right? It's not what we go through, right? It's how we go through. See, you see the situations happen to people all the time. Why is one man calm, one man pissed off? Why is one man violent and another man, serene? That's what's going on the inside. It's going to rain on us all. Issues, problems, random acts and random occurrences of just junk in life. They're going to happen, but it's up to us as to how we respond and process those things, right? And so, according to my notes here, I wanted to remind you and just really kind of draw your attention. See how that can become extremely exhausting in life. If every time something goes, quote, bad, every time something happens bad, we pile on and we overanalyze and overprocess it, and we run our mouths and we let that thing take us from 1 to 10 in 60 seconds. And not only do we have the one problem, now we have double our trouble because we're taking the issue that's already there that we already got to deal with, and now we're adding our own emotional baggage upon that situation. We're adding that on to the situation. So now we have double trouble. See how that can wear you out emotionally. See how that can just really wreck your quality of life and your peace in life. And now you do feel like, man, I'm just out of control. Life is out of control. I'm out of control. Life sucks. Well, does it really? Maybe it's just the way that you're looking at it. And I want to help you out with that, okay? So here's the dealio. Few reminders. Your perspective determines not what you go through, right? And that's a quote that I'm going to be sharing here. Let me go ahead and just share that right now. That makes sense right here. Your perspective determines, right? Not what you go through, but most importantly, how you go through it. Yeah. Your perspective determines not what you go through, but most importantly, how you go through it. You're gonna go through your junk. You're gonna encounter your junk anyway. It's not about preventing or avoiding your junk. It's about how you go through your junk, right? Right. And so let me see here. Just want to share my notes again. You are not in control of everything, but you are in control of one thing, the most important thing, which is your perspective, how you look at it. The classic glass half empty, glass half full. Now, I'm going to give you a 3-second, not literally, obviously, but I'm going to give you a quick rundown. I'm going to break this down in future episodes. Today, I'm going to give you a preview just to make you aware of it, right? Our lives can change with an idea. I'm giving you some ideas. You can take these ideas and run with them. You can research them, get books on them, get audio books. You can read, you can look for definitions. You can Google it. You can go to your local library. You can go to college. You can take a course on these things, right? So I'm giving you the ideas, and then I'll take the responsibility in future episodes to really break them down. But when we talk about we don't have control over everything, but we do have control over one thing, the one thing that truly matters, which is our perspective. That begs the question, then how do I arrive at a perspective that works for me and not against me? Does that make sense? How do I get to a perspective that works for me and not against me? Well, here's what I talked, this is what I meant by the quick little rundown, right? Because we're coming to the end here. Your perspective is created by your perception. Your perspective is how you look at a thing, your vantage point. Your perception is your understanding or your comprehension of how a thing is. So your perspective is made by your perception. Your perception then is made and created by your belief systems, your framework, the ideas that you hold, the ideas that you subscribe to and ascribe to, right? So look at it like this, working backwards. I want to have a positive perspective. Then I need to have positive perceptions, positive understandings of how life works. In order to do that, you need positive belief systems, right? That then yield to understandings, right? That then yield to viewpoints and vantage points and angles to look at things. Well, how is a belief created? One of two ways in general. First, a very emotional experience. Something happens to you. Most of us are living, I'm 44. Most of us are living at 44 based on emotional experiences at 14. Because the girl didn't like me. The girl dissed me. They laughed at me. They picked on me. They bullied me. They alienated me. They did this to me. They said that to me. And many of us, based upon those emotional, highly charged, right? Emotional events, experiences that were never dealt with, right? In a constructive manner. Maybe your uncle gave you some old weird advice or some old suck it up or, big boys don't cry. All of that bull crap, right? So we have unresolved emotional experiences dwelling deep down within us. And we're living out of those things, right? So let me just kind of break this down really quick. Let's say, for example, me, I was bullied growing up. Emotional experience, being bullied. So now I developed the belief that this world is cruel and evil. Now that's my belief. Now my perception is, or my understanding of you is, you don't want the best for me. You're going to take advantage of me. You're going to do something evil to me. It's just a matter of time. So I ain't gonna really trust you. That's my perception now. That's my understanding of you now. So what do you think my perspective of you is? The way that I look at you. He's just trying to get over. What's the angle? Why are you being so nice? Hey, how come you gave me that? What do you want in return? What are you doing? How come you want to be my friend? You see how that works? You see how that works? I just gave you like a 4-minute lesson. Okay. But again, I'll break it down more in the future. But to arrive at that great perspective, we have to work on our perceptions. Perceptions come from our beliefs. Beliefs comes from our emotional experiences or repetition, repeated exposure to an idea or information, right? And so you grow up in an environment where you always see gun violence. You always see drugs and alcohol. You always see poverty, right? So maybe nothing emotionally happened to you, even though being in that environment is going to bring up certain emotions in general, right? But there's no pinpoint event. But just being constantly, repeatedly exposed to something is going to create a belief. And then and now you carry that belief and you build your framework, your mental framework from that belief, which then parlays into a perception, which you think you know about the world, which then gives you your daily perception or your daily perspectives on how you look at things. Does that make sense? Okay, I hope so. That was fast. You can always rewind and play it again. Okay, again, I'm going to be breaking that down in future episodes because I love this stuff. All right. All right. So here's the deal, man. Here's the deal. This is your weekly assignment. This is your initiative. And I'm reading straight from my phone because I only got a few more minutes. Okay. All right. Here it is. The next time you encounter something that just has the potential to just have you fly off the handle, here's what I want you to do. Step number 1, objectively, not subjectively. It's not about you. Just look at it. Just it. When my car stopped, this isn't life punishing me. That's subjective. Life is punishing me. Don't worry about that. Just the car. Oh, it doesn't start just in and of itself. Okay, so now how do we deal with this? Not subjective, objective. Now, First thing, how can I use this event in a way that's going to help me, right? Or I'm sorry, not help. Not use. How can I see this event in a way that helps me and doesn't hinder me? That's question number one. Ask that question in that moment. You'll be surprised at where your mind goes. Questions redirect focus. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. Ask the question objectively. How can I see this event in a way that helps me and doesn't hinder me? Number two, what is the most mature, constructive, progressive action I can take right now? That's it. That's it. Just give your mind that positive juice, baby. That question. What's the most mature, logical thing I can do right now in this given situation? Wait for the answer. Then number three, remember or ask yourself, why is this not the end of the world? That's pretty dope. Why is this not the end of the world? Because it's not. You know it's not. It's just a little inconvenience, like a gnat that keeps flying around and you keep swatting at the gnat. That gnat ain't hurting you. And sometimes it can feel like the end of the world. I get it, dude. Trust me. But I want to help you. And I want you to live what's possible, the life that's possible, one free of frustration and anger and bitterness and, you know what I'm saying, rage and anger. A life free of those things, they're possible. Now that you know a little bit more about yourself, you see, ideas, information, individuals, right, that are going to inspire you, man, to think about your life and your situation in a way that's going to, make the life you want possible. Hope and pray that makes sense. All right, guys, that is it. Please support a brother. Please, oh, please, oh, please support. Can I get it out of my mouth? Support a brother. Number one, tell somebody, let somebody else know. If you're going through these issues, if you feel like your life is out of control, then maybe someone else does as well. And you know them, friends, family, co-workers, children, siblings. Number two, leave me a comment, info@iamthepossible.com, info@iamthepossible.com. Email me questions, concerns, technical issues. I don't know. Ask me questions, right? I would love those questions. I'll highlight them and give you a shout out. Or you can say, make it anonymous, doesn't matter. Don't got to call your name out. Give me ideas for future topics, right? What would you like me to cover? My YouTube channel, it's another way of supporting, right? We want to get more eyeballs on this thing, right? So if you're on the tube, or if you know someone who's on the tube, let them know to head over to YouTube, type in I Am The Possible or Travell C.W. Lynch. Go ahead and hit that bell, that notification, and become a part of the nation. And then finally, Apple Podcasts or any podcast platform that you are currently using. Subscribe, download, leave a review, comment, good or bad. It's all good, right? And if you're on the tube, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about these episodes. Let me know about the new approach. Let me know just anything, man. Talk back to me. Let me know something. I want to know how you're doing, how you're feeling, how this stuff is working. Does it make sense? Could I have clarified some things better? Help a brother out for us, for us to get to where we want to go in life, man. We need help, and I'm not afraid to ask for it. All right. Okay, guys, that's it. Until next time, I love you guys. I'm praying for you guys. I'm believing in you guys. Now go out today in some way. Be why it's possible.